possible. First of all, I'm so delighted to see such a distinguished group of people joining us today in our March 2023 South Texas section of American Institute of Chemical Engineers dinner. There are many reasons that made it special, and sometimes it's because what you had to give up that made you come here. First of all, you gave up on spring break vacations, okay? Second thing is you gave up on going to the rodeo or attending a concert, which I did 2 weeks ago, actually. Also, you had to battle the rain earlier today, so that's very good. And you had to give up, of course, a little bit on splurging on the spring AIChE meeting, which was happening all the way through today. So you have still energy and brain, great substance to listen to presentations. After all this bombardment and beneficial and educational bombardment of information, so you must be high achievers. So let's give a good round of applause for that. But as our distinguished speaker will tell you, progress and success is achieved through collaboration. And I'm very thankful that we have actually some collaborations to promote and celebrate today. The first collaboration actually happened because of our esteemed friend Alan Rossiter and Chris Johnson, who represent and administer the Texas Industrial Energy Efficiency Program, and they delivered a fabulous and awe-inspiring Texas Energy Forum today. A big applause for that, please. Second reason why it's so special, because we're collaborating with the national AIChE staff and volunteers and leaders and everything, because we deliberately arranged that meeting so we can have them here with us. And they made it very special because they could have picked up the plane. That's another thing you have to give up and go back to your families. And you stayed longer. You could have been on a... So thank you so much for doing that. And actually, I'm going to name them one by one. And since I cannot really see them all in their place, I can see here Gina Gatto, Director of Membership. Please rise, please rise. I don't want to embarrass you, but it would be nice to see you, yeah. She will run to the airport in that one. Evan Flack, our conference manager, if I want to call it. And sorry if I mix your titles accurately. I'm seeing here Dr. Billy Bardin, who is our national president for 2023, and he's going to be, of course, our keynote speaker. And by the way, he's a Texan and Houstonian, at least for the last few years, right? Since he joined Texas. But he's also a North Carolinian, so let's not forget that, right? But he's actually living in Houston, so at least we didn't have to pay for his ticket to come here. And I'm looking for Darlene. Yeah, Darlene. Darlene's sister. She's the CEO of the national organization. She runs the show, essentially, with all the big organizing events that you just witnessed, some of you, this week at downtown Houston, at the Convention Center and the Hilton of the Americas. And I forget one more. Alan. Okay, Alan. Yeah, we didn't meet earlier, so please rise. Alan Nelson. Thank you for being the chair-elect or the president-elect for next year. Who'll be the president next year? So very, very pleased. I don't remember such a glorious and honorable moment in the recent, my recent memory. And it goes, yeah. So another partnership and collaboration with our local universities. And I only look in one table. There are probably multiple tables. We have 4 universities that are accredited in our South Texas section area, which encompasses 28.5 counties I learned the half from Julie, so I don't know. What do we do rounding error? Okay. So we're collaborating through our position 2, position 3, outreach officer, Dr. Michael Wong from Rice University. We connected with all 4 universities, and as we do every year, we're going to award collectively through today in May 12 student chemical engineering undergraduate scholarships. Big round of applause for all our scholars, which is going to come up in a moment. And the universities are Texas A&M University, first and among all. Who are the AIChE? There you go. And you can do your own calling, right? They drove 2 hours to come here. So bless you for doing that with their student advisor. We have, of course, Prairie View A&M, which is also about an hour and so. Who are you here? Okay, big applause with their student advisor. And we have University of Houston, actually 3 faculty advisors from the University of Houston. I'm so proud, and including our past chair, Ramanan Krishnamurti, who's the CEO also of U of H. And of course, that's a different C, okay? Chief Energy Officer, okay? I'm teasing him. And finally, my alma mater, my favorite, AIChE University, with, of course, Michael and the students here, Jennifer. And so another collaboration. Okay, I'm on a roll. Our sponsors, okay? We have 3 different sponsors, and actually I'm going to try to go to their slides very quickly, and then they're going to come to the podium a little bit later. So we're going to jump all the way here. Here, first one is SPX, and with the Marley cooling towers. So those who are here for us, please give them a round of applause. Please rise, please rise. Yeah. And they have actually a booth over there where you can actually converse with them before and after the presentation to learn about their energy efficient products. Second one is Schneider Electric, who also gave a presentation at the Energy Forum, and represented here by Yasmin McCall and Sabine. Yes. And they both presented earlier. And finally, we have, do that. Oops, where's Ingeniero? Ingeniero, here, sorry. I didn't see the top there. Ingeniero with Jim Brinkman. Please rise. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that really covers a pretty good ground. And I'm going to really move on very quickly, of course, because I don't want to keep you from your dessert sitting there. We're going to do the dessert around 7:50 for a 10-minute break, and then at 8, our speaker will start. Let's go back now to my first slide, to the top. And I'll say, of course, as you probably heard in other meetings, we do record. We have Hollywood production here with our volunteer, Trevor Rice, and our esteemed audiovisual expert and assistant, Don. Yeah? Now, some of you actually have allowed us to publish the presentation, so go to our website. Sorry. Yes, there you go. Sorry. Now I figured out. Engineer has to do the repeat the experiment to get the accuracy. So we're going to go to our website maybe in a few weeks. Yeah, in a few weeks, and you will find those presentations and the recordings too. So we want to remind everyone who was not here at 4. These are the speakers. Some of them are still here, as you saw, like Yasmin and Sabine. And Please rise if you're still here so people can identify you and connect with you. It's probably you're the experts in energy conservation and decarbonization. There you go. And thanks for staying with us. We appreciate that. So, of course, I'm going to say that you already know who our guest speaker is here, and I'm going to introduce him in a little bit. But let's see what's the next speaker going to be, which is in the announcements, and I hope that, yeah. Here, our speaker for May 4th, which will be also, according to Alan, another collaboration with on the Water Forum by, again, TIEP. Chris, I hope you're there. Yeah. And our speaker is going to be Jose Santi Esteban, a very esteemed colleague from ExxonMobil, who will talk to us about the National Academy of Engineering report that came out last year on the frontiers and directions of chemical engineering. How many people have seen the report? Good. You don't have to see it. He's going to tell you about it. He'll give you the summary. And of course, we have a registration up and coming. Actually, we have barcodes there, right? Right, Sarah? People can actually walk with their cell phone and register for that because 1 month before the event, we actually give a $5 to $15 discount for everyone. And after that, it goes to normal. And a week before, it goes up. So don't wait until the last minute. I don't know if we have any food left, but we ordered right on the number. I felt like a physicist, you know, trying to count meals. So like if I knew actually that they had a buffet, I would actually allow a little bit more, but they told me they have plates. So I try to keep it very disciplined. All right, here is a slide that our friend and chair of awards committee, Tom Mean, has given me to announce to all of you. Some of you actually, I don't know who, has already gotten the award, maybe some of the academics here. It's the Best Paper Awards for 2022. Of course, awarded in 2023. And therefore, you don't have to be an author to nominate yourself. You can be a reader, and actually probably that's where more celebrity comes, right, from your readers. Please nominate your best papers. Of course, the speakers and the writers can also do that. Please be aware, you need to be a member of South Texas section to get the award. And I'm going to put it out on the students. You are a member for free if you choose to put it in your profile. You probably do not have it on your profile, and Gina will tell you how to do it. It's very easy. So please, become a member now before it's too late and you say, oh, I didn't get the award, right? And things like that. As you see, we have a bigger list. There are 3 about papers, and there are another 3 about service, special service and distinguished service, and outstanding young professional. Outstanding young professional actually is going to be, from last year, you're going to hear about today. I'm going to keep it a little bit suspenseful. But he's here with his lovely wife, and they're going to get an award for the best young engineer of the year. Here's the information of who to call. And I would say, call Tom. He's there all the time. From 8 a.m. to midnight. Right, Tom? Yes, he's our answer line. Okay. What do you say? There you go. We have other people, of course, like want to be very grateful to Ryan Stevens and Matt Christensen from Shell, my colleagues who are also volunteering, and they run the committee for the awards, which takes about 20 or 30 people actually to do it, because there are several papers. There are probably sometimes 15 to 20 papers. One thing that I remembered, and I put it this morning, and I'm so happy I did it at the last minute. We have a lot of young talent around us. And some of them actually are getting the scholarships today. And they're going to become professional pretty soon. Let's give them the recognition and the visibility they need to really launch their career, because their bosses will see the potential. Their colleagues will actually gather around them and really support them. And they will be given more leadership positions to progress, including STS, but also in their workplace. So I'm going to say, without putting anyone on the spot, there is one of us here. I'm not going to even say names, but you can go and find them. And whom I invited, and I'm really happy that I was able to sell him a ticket today, who is actually from Houston, who has received the 35 Under 35 award about 2 or 3 years ago. So it happens here too, in Houston. It doesn't happen somewhere else. You know, the New York people, they always go to Gina and say, can you really give me the 35 by 35? She says, no. All right, sounds good. We have actually, for the sake of simplicity and giving ourselves and our volunteers a spring break, we said we're canceling the April dinner. And May will be stronger and better because of that. And we're observing, of course, our diversity and inclusion by allowing people to observe their religious holidays. But we will get back together on September 7th with an academic speaker, actually. And thanks to Michael for helping me on that, but Dr. Lisa Biswal, who is actually the Vice Chancellor, I think, or I forget the exact title, but she's a very prominent member in the Rights faculty. And she's, of course, in town. She was talking to us about her fluid mechanics and research and colloidal research. We cannot thrive without volunteers, so I have a couple of slides about volunteering. Offshore Technology Conference. Guess what? It's on the same week as our dinner. So we're going to have OTC, we're going to have Water Forum, and we're going to have a dinner. Okay, we're a very hard-working crowd, guys, right? So, but that will be a very nice social coexistence, because there are probably many people from out of town. We don't know who we will invite to come to our dinner, and maybe they can interact with us. So please, however, volunteer, and Tom Min again, he's pulling this together, and Ram, with the young professionals, are going to prepare the goodie bags that go as gifts to participants in the OTC. Okay, Gina, your turn.
Sure, you renew your AIChE membership as well as SDS.
Yes. And actually, I think, from what I understand, please confirm me, if we are not member in one forum or one section, we can go today to our own account and add it online, can we?
Yes.
Yes, please. We are all digital savvy, so let's do that. That's pretty easy going. And of course, for those who are really a little bit shy and they want to try it first, we also have actually, that's incorrect, the 2-year $50 membership. We don't give 1 year only now, because I think you have to be 2 years to really get the feel of it. You can do it on our website, but it's probably for exceptions, I would say, than for rules. As every organization, and I learned that at work, we need to have goals. I'm not going to be able to explain everything in detail, but I wanted to put in front of you because you may want to participate there. You may want to join us, especially the mentorship. I think the students who are here, you may participate as recipients or participants of the mentorship program. And we have a lot of senior experienced professionals here in our organization that can really help launch your career. So please be aware and tell your colleagues too. Here's our list of officers. Please, if you're here today, which I think most of you are here, can you please rise? And we can have a round of applause for you all. Yasmin, please rise. Yasmin, Michael, Michael Wong, Nitismat Mittal, Julie White. And Bill is hiding. Come on, Bill. Bill Shaw, our chair-elect. Yeah. I didn't tell you, Bill, you're delivering the scholarships today. No, just kidding. I will give you more notice than that, okay? So, but certainly I would say he's one of the best chair-elects we had. So happy to be working with you all. Thank you. We have more opportunities for volunteering. I'm just listing it up here. Probably the most urgent is our position 4. Someone who was very prominent in our community. He has health difficulties, So he voluntarily said, I'm going to give up the second year. You can assign someone who wants to do it and put energy in it. So it's still open. And let me know if you have ideas and suggestions of who can that be. And now we're going with the drum roll. Who has drum roll, please? There you go. We have 2 awards to give today and 1 recognition. First of all, no organization runs without a leader. Of course, there are many leaders within all the organizations, but one has to really carry the flag. And I was so happy to work with that leader last year, who really taught me how to carry the flag for the STS, learn what it is. I was unfortunate because I hadn't been involved in officer positions for the last, 15, 20 years. I was volunteering in small things, but not officer. So I had a really steep learning curve, and Julie White, she really brought it all home for me. So as its chair, can you hold it? I would like to award the, can you hold the top one? I don't have enough hands. To Julie for being a very fabulous, thank you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure working with you. Appreciate it so much.
And fortunately, the separation is not that sudden because she still serves in our executive committee this year, so we're getting a lot of her wisdom. But we want to commemorate her for all the great service, and I hope it really sits on a prominent place in your office.
It will. Thank you, Andreas. Appreciate, I said it when I was chair. Any given year, we have almost 100 volunteers at the South Texas section. When it comes to OTC and the award papers and science fair and all the different one-time activities, but we also have a core group of over 20 volunteers that function every month. And so Andreas was there for me many times as chair-elect. So I just want to say thank you for that. And also thank you to those who were serving in your volunteer positions and doing such a great job still this year. Thank you. Oh, and for past chair, we are the nominating committee. So if you're interested in volunteering and learning more about us, come see me.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. We have elections every year, not every 4 years, okay? So if you have ambitions, come to us. And then eventually you could go to president, that's fine. Anyway, but I'm going to say a little bit of a humorous aspect of Julie's chairmanship, which probably was the most challenging she had to do, and I can watch it. It was, I think, February of 2022. We were just recovering from COVID. We were just actually having in-person meetings. We were making commitments to venues. And all of a sudden, a huge cold front is hitting Houston with freezing rain. And it was arriving. It had not hit yet. So here, Julie and I think it was Yasmin were doing the weather forecast for us by the hour. So I was sitting there waiting to find out, am I going or I'm not going, or I'm going, I'm not going. And eventually, we realized about 4 hours before the event, we're canceling. We had to notify everyone, refund all their work, all their payments. And of course, fortunately, the venue was very gracious to not charge us, but give us another date. But I can imagine the load and the stress of having to do that. I think the next one, we need to go, is our esteemed young professional, young engineer of the year. And he has many special attributes. One that I really appreciate the most, that he was the Young Professionals Chair for 2022. And he did a very fabulous job, first of all, recruiting people, getting them involved, including the OTC bags, of course, we said, but also happy hours, outings and everything, and keep them involved. We have a low population of STS member young professionals. We have a lot of young professionals who are AIChE members, So Gina has to send them an offer there. Say, you know, if you join the young professionals, we're going to call you young and fabulous. Right? So, and this gentleman, which I'm going to announce in a moment, not only that, he didn't finish his term. He said, I'm willing to continue as a chair of the young professionals for another year, although his term was finished. And I feel like your organization needs that continuity. And we're very grateful. And he continues on a very strong track. Last month, he was actually awarded the Young Chemical Engineer of the Year award at the Houston Engineers Week. How many know about the Houston Engineers Week? There you go. And we had the presentation there, and we do sponsorship and so forth. So without further ado, here is Ram Prasad Kamisetti, our Young Professionals Chair. Thank you so much.
I like this award for two reasons. One, I'm called young instead of gray hair. And I'm also being called...
Nothing wrong with gray hair.
I don't know. I'm also called professional. Right, so, and yeah, as Andrea said, we are really passionate about having this community of STS, and I've seen AIChE. The reason for me continuing as a chair for the second year is we are looking out for more professionals so that we lay the roads for next officers. So yes, we don't mind people being young and fabulous, being STS. So thank you all, and if you have any young professionals who wants to join STS, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. Take care. And by the way, we have a young professional in our executive committee, which is by our bylaws required, and that's Nitish Mittal. So thank you, Nitish. And he's teaching us how to do all this social media and everything. I had no idea, you know. Therefore, okay, good. So now we're going to probably the main. Oh, one more. Sorry. I'm going to very quickly say thank you to those volunteers who helped at the science fair last month. Matt Kalodny, can you please stand to acknowledge you as the leader? Of course, Erin is here. Erin, you can rise. I don't know if other people, I think, David, please rise. Anyone else sees their name? Ram again. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Ram. John. Hugh is not here. Yeah, I think that's those people who are here, but you can write their names. And I need to move very quickly on the scholarship program because, again, we're running behind time. I want to first thank the scholarship chair advisors from every school. Is Dr. Emmanuel Dada here? Okay. He couldn't come, no? Okay, that's fine. But we have Dr. Sina Reeves here with Texas A&M. We don't have anyone from Texas A&M because he was not able to come. He had a family commitment. We have, of course, Professor Michael Wong from Rice, and Jerry, who's not able to come, right? Jerry Club. Okay, but we have a couple of faculty from U of H. Can you please rise? I cannot locate you in the. Yes, here you are. Wonderful. Yeah. So, thank you for helping us select the best students and give them the confidence and the encouragement they need. So I'm going to therefore start very quickly. Now I'm going to put the microphone here, so I don't want to drop the microphone. I'm not MC Hammer or anything. Okay. So we have one student from Rice who's interesting. I put them on a different order, but apparently the order, that's okay, we'll find it. From Rice University. Yeah. No? Oh, okay, that's fine. That's how we put it. So let's welcome Stephanie Pecan.
Yes.
Stephanie, congratulations. Many wishes for progress and continuous learning. So thanks to the Rice, and the following two students couldn't come today, but they will join us on May 4th, so there is a sequel. Okay, and I need to get my mouse to work. Here we are. Oh, of course I have a pointer. Now we have Prairie View A&M. Let's start with Shirley Kennebro. Congratulations, Shirley. I wish you the best success and a lot of learning in the career. And I know he told me the shorter part of his name, but I don't remember it. But we have Victor Alade. And we have Kennedy Dent. All right, that covers it for Prairie View and AM. So good job, 3 out of 3, bravo. Now we're going to University of Houston. Let's award the scholarship to Christopher Dow. And I know he's here. Please keep learning and join our section.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yep. Mikas Dunn. Hazim Rassam. Okay, good. Full quorum from University of Houston. And now we have, come on, what's the Aggie call? There you go. Yeah, the Aggie is coming. Okay, I'm going to start with my favorite, Jennifer Ha. And I'll tell you why. Jennifer, congratulations, yes. And actually, I'm going to take a special moment to say Jennifer Ha and her colleagues, including, of course, Alexis, they're organizing the AIChE Southwest Student Conference in 2 weeks. So if you're in College Station, yes. And we are going there. We have 6 people from STS going there. And 2 presenters, Mr. Vic Edwards and Mr. Tom Ream. Yes, there you go. Next, Alexis Lizarraga. There you go. Excellent. All right, we have still 5 minutes. I'm done with my presentation. Let me see. And as I said, I already said that before. So let's take a break. Please serve yourselves the cake. Do you serve them or they serve them?
We'll serve you guys.
You serve it. So you're going to bring them to the table? Yes. Okay, wonderful. So enjoy, relax. Maybe tell our online crowd to hold on for 5 minutes. And let's mute everything so that... Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, we are starting the program again. I wanted to take the 3 minutes to introduce our sponsors, whom I have already promised to give us 1 minute introduction of their company. And then after that, I will introduce our keynote speaker. So we're starting first with SDX.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Chris Kapp. What a wonderful event here, and we're happy to support here the organizations here involved, so very good. Very briefly, we don't need to buy a very expensive prototype hydrogen gas turbine to do something about carbonization. You can just do something with your cooling tower. We have here a fan technology which is 9% points more efficient than anybody else, but more importantly, we use variable frequency drive technology to save 30% of your energy and therefore 30% of your carbon load on those towers. And that's for an insignificant cost that can be retrofitted. So think about that on your next project. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next. Jim, come over.
All right. Oops. All right, sounds good. So hi, I'm Jim Brigman, and I'm one of the owners here of Enginero. We're an engineering company that's mainly focused on digitalization work. At least that was the initial intent, where we did, starting 20 years ago, doing data analytics and simulation. So we're trying to be the best by involving technology and trying to hire the best people we could. But we do quite a bit of engineering projects and technical consulting, and one of the key areas for us is relief systems, well, actually not design, but relief systems compliance work. So that's a little bit about us, and in terms of general interest, we are always looking for people who would like to join us, and so certainly we've got openings on the sales side, we've got openings on the engineering services side for consultants who want to, even retired folks that said, hey, I want to get back in there and handle a little, handle 1 or 2 projects. So we're always open to that. So.
Thank you. Big applause. And now Yasmin McCall from Schneider Electric.
Hi everyone, I'm Yasmin McCall. I work for Schneider Electric, where we've been talking about collaboration. At Schneider, we hardly believe to address today's business challenges, especially when it comes to sustainability. We have to be more collaborative than ever. 60% of our revenue is done through collaboration with our partners, and we are a $40 billion company. So you can just imagine that we collaborate extensively to bring sustainability solutions to our customers. Our main business is energy management and automation, software solutions, and at the end, we want to bring sustainability solutions to our customers. We have multi-hub operations to be close to our partners and our customers around the world, and we have adapted ESG goals within our ecosystems to drive prosperity, innovation, and technologies and equality for all. We've been the #1 sustainable company in the world for the past few years. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now we can end the slideshow and go straight to our speaker. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Billy Bardin to our podium and to our dinner presentation. I already mentioned earlier that they're here in town for a great spring meeting. And by just looking at his title as a national president and his new title at Dow as the Climate Transition Director as of a week ago, or a couple of weeks ago, it shows how much he's at the center of action for our industry. And what a proud moment, just adding to this, that AIChE has a role to play in what the industry does, and always has and always will, and that's probably a manifestation of that. Bill, of course, he has, before becoming a president, he served at several boards, as you see, CCPS, a board of directors of AIChE, of course, leader of the Licensing and Professional Development Committee, helping out people, Disabilities Outreach and Inclusion Committee. If you haven't read his New Year address for 2023, please do, because it crystallizes actually his message about collaboration, inclusion, and service. He certainly, I could say a lot about his accomplishments. You see them, of course, already written. He's already a very well-educated professional from not only North Carolina, but also West Virginia. He worked for Union Carbide, now Dow. He's at a Lake Jackson facility. And he's also, in his very spare time, I would say, which is not very much of it, right? He's doing the journal, he's editing the Journal of Advanced Manufacturing and Processing, among other things. So a person who offers to this community, he gets gifts, he has gotten his gifts and he's giving them back. Please give me a round of applause for Billy Bardin.
Oh, thanks, Andreas. It's you're a difficult act to follow. A lot of great announcements and a great presentation. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, all of you, for coming this evening. It's great to be back at the STS meeting and have a chance to see everybody and see some old friends and new colleagues, and really appreciate having a chance to meet and greet with all the students. You are truly our future of the profession and the future of chemical engineering, so it's great to have you here. And I'm sure I speak for everyone in the room. If there's anything we can ever do to help you, just ask. We're here to try to help make you successful. So thanks for making the drive, and thanks for coming in this evening. Before I get started, I have to appease my attorneys and make my legal disclaimer of liability. The comments this evening are mine and not associated with my employer, Dow Incorporated, or any of our subsidiaries. So I'm sure all of you that are industry are well aware of the legal disclaimer, and any forward-looking statements or predictions that you encourage me to make, I stand by that those could always change at a moment's notice. So, chemical engineering. You all chose to be chemical engineers. You have had or will have fabulous careers. I think there's no other time that chemical engineers have the potential to impact society as we do today. Obviously, we've had lots of transition and lots of change and lots of dynamics over the last 100 or 150 years to which chemical engineers contributed. The advancement of high-octane gasoline, the advancement of advanced materials, nanomaterials, catalysis reaction engineering. But I think in the last couple of years, we saw what chemical engineers could do for manufacturing. And whether you believe the politics or not, the fact that we could bring a new medicine to market in this amount of time that we did during COVID was truly impressive. There was a lot of chemical engineering as well as medical and biological engineering involved in that, of course, but it demonstrates what can be done. And if you look what the challenges that we face as society today, I think chemical engineers are truly positioned to be a critical component of how we solve those societal problems. Up here on the screens, the UN goals, I think many of you probably have seen those. For the students in the room, if you want to know what these are, go to un.org and look for the Sustainability Development Goals. They talk about what we try to do for society in terms of advancing our human endeavors, solving poverty, having clean energy, having clean water. A lot of the things that we heard about before the dinner, carbon transition, carbon management, climate transition, they are listed here, and these were promulgated many, many years ago with 2030 in mind. So we're quickly approaching the end of this series of goals, and I think we still have lots of progress to make, especially if you go in and look at some of the tracking. you think about what we're facing, we need more energy, we need more food, we need more clean water. Anybody want to take a guess about how much food is wasted in the world today? Just give me a number. 25%, 50%, 70, 50, 55, 60? Yeah, somewhere 50% plus or minus, between 50, 60% food is wasted. In the developing countries, the food perishes before it ever makes it to the table. So packaging, refrigeration, techniques to preserve that food, those are required. We have opportunity to influence those solutions. In the developed world, here in the US and Western Europe and other places, half of the food is wasted after it gets to the table. So it's prepared, it makes it to market, it makes it to the table, but still yet half of it, more or less, is not consumed. As a society, we have that challenge ahead of us. We have lots of people moving into cities for opportunities. We have a lot of greenhouse gas associated with that move from agrarian to urban environments. My new role is, as Andrea said, is leading the climate change office for Dow. So I'm living this every day for day in and day out. And the challenges are great, and the expectations from our stakeholders, whether it be you as the next generation, whether it be our investors, our stockholders, our non-NGOs, or third-party collaborators, they all have similar expectations that we figure out how to get this done and how we solve this problem in order that we can maintain our expectations and standard of living as a society and continue to provide for our families and our children and their children. It's a lot of challenges. What I want to tell you about this evening is how I think AIChE is positioned to help address those challenges. You know, we try to anticipate what's to come and be a convener. We anticipate what's to come and chart new directions. We anticipate or attempt to anticipate what to come and plan programming and educational activities in order to help the students, in order to help our new career employees, and those that have been around a long time, and some in the room probably longer than me, to change and adapt. What you see here on the screen is our ambition to be a global leader, to be a center for lifelong learning, and to be the foremost catalyst in solving societal problems, addressing the 17 things that you saw on the previous slide and more. You know, when I became president and started working with the board more closely and Darlene's staff, it's very difficult to understand everything that AIChE does. We have such broad reach today. We have numerous groups and enthused volunteers that help us collaborate across all sorts of paradigms. And I think probably even Darlene and her ELT has no idea in a single person everything that happens inside the Institute. That power is something we can use for good and for helping solve world challenges. It's your power. It's you as the volunteers working with the staff that make AIChE what it is. We aspire to be something better than what we are, and we aspire to broaden our reach and to broaden our impact. Andreas mentioned many times tonight collaboration. If you had a chance to read parts of my election slate proposal or the letter that went out to the members at the first part of the year, collaboration and partnership is one of my key foundations for my year as president, and fortunately I have my partner in crime, Alan Nelson, here, who's coming as president-elect. And for those that don't know, Alan and I used to work together. We spent many years together working at Dow on engineering problems. And so I think we're of similar mind, and we're trying to expand the reach, and we've got a period of time in the next 18 to 24 months with leadership at the top of the Institute on the volunteer side of the organization to make dynamic change and make some inroads into expanding the influence of AIChE globally. So our ambition leads to our strategic objectives, which probably some of you may have seen on the website. But this is how we actualize, or how we actionize, our ambition to be a leader in chemical engineering and related disciplines, not only in the U.S., to be the global home of chemical engineering. You see it right in our motto. To create new communities. Who here is YPC? Any YPs in the room, young professionals? I know there's at least a few, right? So we have the YPC community. That's one. There's many others. I'll talk about a couple here as we go through. Communities create ideas. They bring people together. AICHE is fundamentally a convener, someone looking to collate information to provide a forum that allows us as engineers and professional chemical engineers to collaborate and to advance our profession forward. A lot of you go to the AICHE Academy for content, for educational courses, for materials that come to your mailbox once a month in Chemical Engineering Progress or AICHE Journal or the Journal of Advanced Manufacturing. It doesn't come for free. That comes from a lot of hard work of all of our authors and editors working with you as submitters to put that information out there and make it available to the masses. We are also striving to improve the diversity and inclusion within our profession through our programs and our communities with MAC and WIC and DORIC, which I'll talk about a little later. You see it right here. We have promulgated the ideal statement: inclusion, diversity, equity, anti-racism, and learning. We are pushing that through everything that we do within AICHE in order to bring parity, in order to bring equality, in order to bring new opportunity and different perspectives. And those perspectives help us come back to the fundamental issue at which we're striving to achieve, which is solving those world and societal problems and to do good with the training that we had. Somebody took the time to teach us as chemical engineers. It's up to us to use that knowledge and that experience to train the next generation and to make it better than what it was when we found it or when we came into the profession. A little bit about AICHE. This data is from our 2021 annual report, so actually we're in the process currently of completing the 2022 annual report that'll be coming out after we finish our financial close. There's a lot of numbers on the slide, but what I'd like you to realize is the power of reach and the power of the different personnel that AICHE touches. 60,000 plus members, 40,000 plus professional members, 26,000 plus student members. Probably you guys didn't know there were that many student members and student chapters all around the world. Actually, we have more student chapters today outside of the U.S. than we do in the U.S. So your colleagues reaching out to you in Asia Pacific, in Europe, Latin America. I think actually some of the most important numbers you see here on the right-hand side of the screen. Talking about process safety. We were just talking about the impacts that Mary Kay O'Connor and some of the process safety training has had. Through generous donations of our corporate partners and the expertise in, for example, the Center for Chemical Process Safety and our undergraduate process safety lab initiative, we've issued over 225,000 certificates in process safety. I think when we were in school, we learned about process safety, but not in the way that we're teaching it today. That's reaching every classroom, every student chapter. There's a lot of schools that actually give additional credit or they use our process safety curriculum as the requirement to meet the ABET certification for process safety in the undergraduate chemistry curriculum. We're training our faculty today with workshops, process safety workshops. Dow's a host, others have been hosts in the industry. So bringing faculty into our facilities, we've had them here in Houston, we've had them in Europe, we've had them in different places around the U.S. to teach them about process safety so they can convey that experience to the students. That's the power of AICHE. People helping each other to learn more and then conveying that knowledge forward. So I guess maybe 2 or 3 of you have ever read the AICHE annual report. Please, when it comes out in April, May, when we get it completed, please take a look at that. There's a lot of information in the annual report. The team works really hard to assemble that, and it is your organization's impact on our profession and our students and our industries that demonstrated in that material. And it's, as you go out to work with the student chapters, whether it's at the Texas A&M Regional, this is great to have in your back pocket in order to talk about why someone who is just coming into the profession should be an AICHE member. All of you made that choice at some point 50 plus years ago to be an AICHE member. We need to keep that momentum going. This week, our conference theme was Embracing the Future Chemical Engineering. When Andreas and I were talking about what to discuss this evening, where we're headed is critically important. There was an article, actually, this is CEP from October of 2018. It's a refresh of an article that was done about, I think, 10 or 15 years before that by Phil Westmoreland and Claire McCabe to look at the future of chemical engineering. So this was 4+ years before the report that you mentioned we're going to be going over at the next meeting around chemical engineering, future aspects. And what I would tell you is I think the themes that were predicted in this report in 2018 have held true. They cover digitalization, a new skill for data analytics that we would like to incorporate into our undergraduate curriculum and into training for chemical engineers. They talked about climate change, energy transition, biomaterials, nanomaterials, the ability to use alternative energy or batteries. It's all right here. It was actually a very forthright prediction of what might be happening in the next 5 or 10 years. I think we, of course, like all predictions, some of them are wrong right away. Some of us get lucky and actually predict things that happen. And when you look at our sponsors for the evening, they cover some of the things that were discussed in that report. And having spent the last 3 or 4 years working in the digital technologies before moving into the climate change area, I can tell you that all of these are intricately connected. The ability to measure our carbon and measure our reductions of carbon comes down to the data analytics that can be provided from our process historians and process control systems, the ability to audit that data. All of those are critically important for reducing our carbon footprint and being able to validate that we're reducing our carbon footprint. And I think the quotation here is still accurate. That no matter what problem is thrown at chemical engineers, we have within the engineering discipline a unique skill set to address a problem in a unit operation manner, apply those fundamentals, be able to break that problem down into tractable segments, and to solve that problem or propose potential solutions for a problem. And whether it's 10 years from now or 25 years from now, we will still have that skill and be unique among the engineering disciplines for the ability to carry out that analysis. I did want to foreshadow a little bit about the Futures of Chemical Engineering report from the National Academy. So at the back of that report, there's lots of recommendations that I'm sure we're going to hear about next time from chapters 3 through 10. Lots of recommendations about collaborations across the industry, which it was really great that the report said we should collaborate because it was fortuitous that they agreed with my election platform. You know, it's nice to have National Academy validation. But the listing here is from the appendix. This was the public opinion or public solicitation of input into that information about what are the most promising CHE fields in the next 15 or 20 years. And I think you look here, you see a lot of the expertise that we have in the room today, whether it's sustainable engineering or my home in catalysis and reaction engineering, energy renewables. We're addressing these problems today. It's not the future. This is the present. And the recommendations throughout that National Academy report talk about how to improve the education, what we can incorporate or do differently in the undergraduate curriculum and the graduate curriculum, but fundamentally it comes down to working together to make that happen. So, what are we working on today at AIChE? Obviously, we're here. I think it was probably at the annual meeting or even earlier that we started talking about how we could align the dates for this meeting with the spring meeting we were having at the convention center. And it's a very nice capstone for the week. We had a lot of discussion this week around membership and around technology with the Ethylene Producers Conference and the Process Safety Congress. What are we thinking about for 2023? And this is a combination of unified goals across the volunteers and the leadership. One, we are continuing to expand our impact in the professional society and in the technical organizations across the country through collaboration. We're going to hear a little bit more about that at the moment. We're trying to figure out how we can take advantage of all of the national infrastructure investments that are coming, whether it be the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the DOE funds that are flowing out that really have an opportunity to accelerate some of the solutions to problems that we were discussing earlier. You know, as we came through COVID, I hope I never have to see that again in my career. I worked for a while on our COVID response team, which I never thought I would be doing epidemiology as a chemical engineer, but it turns out there's modeling and mathematics and a lot of relevant criteria. But as we came through COVID, AIChE came through COVID, I think, relatively strong. We had a few virtual meetings. We were still able to get together. Obviously, it wasn't quite as fun as being in person at the convention center, most likely. But a lot of other organizations didn't come through COVID quite as strong as we are, and so we're looking at ways to partner and help them, and where we might be able to take the opportunity to advance their mission and ours as a partnership. We're working very hard to deliver on ILI, which I'll show you a few slides here in a moment, the Institute for Learning and Innovation. It's a new vehicle that AIChE has assembled for full career from undergraduate through retirement, of how to advance your career, how to learn, how to understand different opportunities, whether it be in digital or sustainability or other areas. And then we're looking to optimize our operations and be more efficient and help meet the needs of our members and help meet your needs through some new membership models, which will be coming later in the year, as well as how we might run meetings differently in the post-COVID era. So we have actually Gina and Evan here. I'm going to have them help me with Q&A when we're done. So if you have questions, we can talk about the different kinds of models and conference opportunities. And communication, one of Darlene's big initiatives as she's come in now in month 10 and a half of being the new CEO, executive director, is to really improve the communications of AIChE to all of you as members and to all of our constituents. So that's one of our high priorities for 2023. So let me talk about partnerships. So we've heard collaboration, partnerships several times this evening. I do think that AIChE sets a standard for partnerships, whether it be with Department of Energy, whether it be with our university partners and our industrial partners that help us through our corporate council or through donations to the AIChE Foundation. You see a few examples of things that are happening right now on the screen where we're advancing our partnership. So we're working with Cash Corp to do some of their conferences. These are modeling mathematics, so it's very much aligned with our CAS division within AIChE. It's a natural partnership. They're chemical engineers. They should come home to chemical engineers. AIChE, so many of you have been working with DOE. We have a University of Houston team leader over here. So AIChE made a partnership with several other entities, AVN out of West Virginia, Michigan State, Fraunhofer Institute, University of Houston, as well as Oak Ridge National Labs, to submit for the DOE a new manufacturing institute focused exclusively on electrification and decarbonization. So this is an opportunity for us to tap into DOE funds and convene a location and a constituency with our partners that can really advance the industry in terms of electrification. International relationships. So one of the things that we're working also is driving international relationships, expanding our reach beyond the United States at the professional level. We have lots of international student chapters. There's opportunities in safety. We're a leader in the process safety area through CCPS and the Center for Hydrogen Safety. We want to expand on that foundation and on that baseline to improve hydrogen safety across the world. We're going to have here in Houston a carbon hub probably, or some sort of sequestration hub or CO2 chemistry. We were talking earlier before the dinner, somebody asked a question about ammonia cracking as a hydrogen source. All of these present new process safety challenges that we haven't thought about in this way in the past 25 or 30 years. The AIChE is strongly positioned to drive collaboration and advancement in that space with our constituent partners. And another example, and there's many more, this is just a few, but we're going to be hosting here in Houston with Gulf Publishing and Hydrocarbons Processing, the magazine, a Chemi Show, trade show. It's another way to get the AIChE brand out there to expose our capabilities and the ability of AICHE to help our members to be successful and chemical engineers everywhere to be successful through this kind of collaboration. We're going to have that in 2023 November in Galveston. So opportunity for all of you to participate. We're already partnering on OTC and some of the other big initiatives in the Houston area, so it'll be great to have your collaboration with that as well. As we think about learning and legacy, for me, that's also a partnership. And I try to be very deliberate about legacy, about what type of reputation we leave behind, about the people we impact. And I know all of you as well think about this, probably not the students so much, but it's never too early to think about legacy and how you're living your professional life and what those around you think about what you're doing. Where are my fellows? So who are fellows in the room? I know we have a few. I had a chance to give Professor Wong here his plaque and pen earlier this week as one of our newest fellows, so congratulations again. To my fellows, you have a long, illustrious career. You've had a chance to impact a lot of people along the way. That's part of your legacy, right? You have people that come that you mentor, that come back to you time and time again, that you work with. That's part of your legacy. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we leave a legacy behind that helps others the way people helped us. Part of that legacy is learning and teaching. One of the areas where AIChE is really expanding that capability is through the Institute for Learning and Innovation, which you see this schematic here on the right side of the screen. The ILI, as we call it, encompasses 4 main areas. You have the training through AIChE Academy, which many of you probably accessed or used before. So AIChE Academy is coming under the ILI umbrella. We have career discovery, the ability for students and professionals at any part of their career to go out and explore new job opportunities in different technology areas. We have Practice Plus, which is the ability to then go practice what you've trained and what you've and learned about the different career paths. And then credentials. For those of us in industry, we hear a lot today about micro-credentials, about the ability to certify that someone knows what they're doing before they come on the job, and it goes beyond just a degree. At least for us and many of our peers with whom I'm talking in the industry, we look as much now about the skills the individual brings as we do the degree that they bring. And so credentialing and certification becomes more important for things. Example is our process safety certification, which we've had lots of interest, and a lot of people have gone and taken that credential. And it means something. When AIChE says that you're a certified process safety individual or engineer, that means something, that carries a reputation. So ILI is a vehicle for combining all those. This was started by one of our previous presidents, Monty Alger, and has continued to advance over the last several years, since about 2020, 2019. Now we're starting to really roll this out in force. So we're doing career discovery workshops. We have the ability to invite individual students or emerging new professionals to come think about their career. We have the ability to offer this for your companies as well. So we can tailor our career discovery workshop material, especially for mid to small companies, small to mid-sized companies that don't have huge HR departments and the ability to put together career maps and promotion opportunities. This is a way for AIChE to help you explain to your employees why you should stay there and why it's great to be in the technical career path or an engineering career path in that company. So this is a service offering that we can now bring, and we've been working with AIChE actually to demonstrate this and to test it at their Hopewell, Virginia plant outside of Richmond. Another area is internships. So I was talking with a lot of the students, many had co-op experience or internships. This is a way to add to the skills for students, allow them to test. And here you have AIChE coordinating those internships, creating opportunities for students to explore and to get experience and to have jobs or job opportunities if they do well, and to have job offers when they leave. The one listed here on the screen is a data analytics internship. So we put together this as Dow and AICHE to drive skill creation in data analytics, which we desperately need, and we want people coming into our company with those skill sets. We had, I would say, let me put it this way, for tens of applications, so multiple sets of 10, we had multiple sets of hundreds of applicants, grad students that wanted to come do digital internships, whether it be Python or data analysis or working in the Dow Digital Operations Center. Gives them true industrial experience and a skill set that they can easily monetize. You can do this as well with your companies or with your schools, have these types of experiences. Another one I wanted to mention is the ILI Sustainable Energy Core. We heard earlier about the clean energy work that's going on. Here, you have a chance to have students and emerging career professionals trained in sustainability and sustainable calculations and sustainable thought. So life cycle analysis or analyzing greenhouse gas emissions, where they are, how to mitigate them, and real world experience. And we've been able to get some funding to get this off the ground from the UEF, as well as have some applications into NSF to make this work, to build this as a program that AICHE can then offer, just as we've done with the digital internships through corporate sponsorship. This is part of us expanding our reach and expanding the service offering that AICHE can deliver to you as members and to our constituents overall. When you think about AICHE, just by show of hands, what do you think about? Is it conferences? So a few, yeah, lots of people. How about technical entities, places that you can go for trusted information? Any show of hands? Darlene's raising her hand on everything because she thinks about AICHE every day, all day, night and day. How about communities of practice where you learn from your peers? I would tell you that AICHE, one of our key drivers and one of our growth mechanisms is to expand our technology offerings through essentially what we would call an industry wholly owned subsidiaries or sub-entities or subgroups. You see a few listed here, like CCPS, which I'm sure all of you know, Center for Chemical Process Safety, Hydrogen Safety. But part of our strategy is to continue to add these specialized offerings and specialized groups that create a community of like-minded individuals that need to know about how to advance manufacturing, for example, which is an area I worked in for quite a bit. So we continue to do this, we continue to grow. We have RAPID, our Advanced Manufacturing Institute that AICHE won in 2015-16, and Dow is a partner from the Department of Energy. And this is just an example of how it can grow. So RAPID had DOE funding for the first 5 years. We're now in a renewal cycle. Lots of projects are centered around process intensification, around modularization of chemical processes. From RAPID, we've derived a new student competition to go side by side with ChemECAR, which is ChemECube. So ChemECube is trying to teach students about process intensification by giving them essentially a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot box, and they need to push as much volume through or push as much productivity through that space as possible. This year they're going to be working on direct air capture, getting back to that sustainability theme. We also have partners where we've sort of semi-commercialized or starting now to demonstrate technology, as you see here on the top, with innovative hydrogen generation systems from biomethane to use in transportation systems out in California. The system of entities in which AICHE exists is wholly as diverse as all of the people in this room and more. Whether it's the Society for Biological Engineers, the Institute for Sustainability, the Center for Clean Energy, the Entrepreneurial Center. I mean, who knew that AICHE was working in entrepreneurialism and using that as a vehicle to teach and to convene a community? Actually, I like this B Cube Center over here because, well, you know, I am Billy B. Bardin, so this has been my mantra for quite a while. So that's the biodiversity, biosafety, and bioethics area. Not my area of expertise, but it's got a very nice name. So just some examples of the reach that AICHE has today, and we're continuing to expand upon that foundation. As I get to the last couple of slides, I want to, or last 3 or 4 slides, just highlight the communities. So most of you are involved in some of these. I bet you didn't know we just started at the beginning of this year a community for process engineers. So most new hires go through some sort of process engineering role. We now have a community dedicated to making sure that process engineers have a great start to their career. They have the opportunity to get mentors in that space, really driven by a number of our senior fellows and past president, Deb Gruby's been involved with that, along with Scott Love. The Young Professional Career group I mentioned already, YPC. If you want to find it in AICHE, you can find it in AICHE. I'm fairly certain of that. Divisions and forums, the technical home of programming. Many of you that have worked in our conferences and in other parts of the Institute have probably interacted with some of these groups. I mean, who knew there were so many of them, right? There's a technical division of forum for almost every area of practice that AICHE or a chemical engineer supports. Even chemical engineering and the law. Right? We have chemical engineers that are patent lawyers, for example, or corporate lawyers. So you can find your home anywhere within the Institute. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention at least the AICHE Foundation. Has anybody ever heard of the AICHE Foundation? A few? That's great. It's normally not such a large percentage of the crowd, so I appreciate your support for the foundation. The foundation is the philanthropic arm of AICHE. It enables us to do all of the programs that we do through student training, through donations to some of the communities that you saw earlier on the screen, to help get them going, to provide seed money for new initiatives. If you haven't had a chance to interact with the foundation, I would encourage you to please do so. They do a lot of great work, and if you have a chance to participate in our giving programs, that would also be much appreciated. The QR code here will take you to the giving page of the foundation if you so choose. And it's been a journey. Probably many of you have heard about Doing a World of Good. That's our long-standing campaign with corporate partners and individuals, donors donating significant amounts of money to drive things like safety, process safety for the undergraduates, recognizing research innovation through the Langer Prize, for example. And now we're moving into areas around STEM talent. There's a undergraduate program that allows and teaches them how to become STEM ambassadors, to go out and do demonstrations in STEM work with the high schools and K-12 area. And our FOSSE Scholars Program, which has allowed us to send 565 undergraduate STEM scholars to historically black colleges and universities. This is partnered with CAMURS and the ACC, the American Chemistry Council, and the HBCU Week and AICHE as lead founders. I think there's no better way to impact the future of science and engineering than to encourage students to go into those fields. And here you have corporate sponsors and some individual sponsors paying it forward. This is an area into which you can also contribute either as your company or as an individual. The chance to change somebody's life that may not be able to go to university. With a scholarship like this, they now become a scientist or an engineer and impact multiple lives. The multiplicative factor for that investment is significant in society today. So I'll just leave you with a couple of thoughts. Chemical engineers are a truly fantastic group of individuals. And as I look back over my relatively short career compared to some in the room, 3 things that I normally see in chemical engineers, represented here on the screen. Most of us are highly curious. We want to solve problems. We want to have impact. And we're curious about things that are interesting in the scientific arena. We have a lot of tenacity. You have to be to get through thermo. Especially second semester thermo, chemi thermo. You survive that, then you're kind of prepared for anything. That tenacity comes back again and again as you go through your career and you're challenged with difficult problems in a manufacturing facility, or you have a process safety event, or you have a fatality in your facility. There's nothing that challenges your tenacity and your resiliency better than some of the days that you might have in a manufacturing facility or in a difficult research environment or a difficult problem. Chemies have unwavering resiliency, the ability to bounce back from all sorts of conditions and to be successful. So I'll just leave you with those 3 pictures. I think they represent our profession fairly well in some of the most important characteristics. And again, thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for volunteering and being part of AIChE and helping make AIChE a tremendously great, outstanding organization. And thanks for being a chemical engineering, helping to advance our profession. So with that, we'll take a few questions. I'm going to... I'd like to call upon my colleagues here.